Hello and thanks for joining us. This is the Signature 30 Minutes. I am Obomman Marvelous. Now in the headlines, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management says the federal government is tackling Nigeria's poverty challenge. The Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade says People's Democratic Party has delivered highest victory story in the history of the state. 19 killed in Kaduna-Abuja Highway Road accident. And now, the details. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management says the federal government is working to establish the spread of poverty and the number and segments of the population most affected. The National Coordinator of the National Social Insurance Program, an agency of the ministry, Dr. Umar Binde, who spoke to Signature 30 Minutes, said the agency has designed a social register to have accurate information, the different strata, states, and groups in need of poverty alleviation to guide government's action.
Dr. Bindere said that apart from poverty, which has increased as a result of climate change and the lack of scale to generate wealth, the coronavirus has created more vulnerability.
The biggest challenge for the NSIP is the shocker of the COVID-19. Production has stopped, cottage industries closed, people cannot go to the market, and children cannot go to school, and so on and so forth. That actually shocked the whole thing to the extent that many have actually lost their livelihoods and back to vulnerability. We are now literally like re-energizing everything.
He stated that ministries like those of health, agriculture, education, and water resources, which usually provide answers to some of the poverty challenges, have been overstretched, informing the need for extra ministerial intervention and the creation of the social insurance program.
In the wisdom of our leader, President Buhari, and the government, yes, the traditional statutory ministries, say at the federal or even at the state levels, Ministry of Water, addressing issues to do with the provision of clean water, Ministry of Agriculture, addressing issues to do with employability of people to produce food and production of food, Ministry of Health, addressing issues of basic healthcare supply, education, and so on and so forth. Even if you add all these implemented programs and projects, still the pressure is very, very high. And if you put all this information together, let's say in a digital pot, in an intellectual pot, you will now start seeing flashpoints of poverty, biggish potholes in poverty, huge gaps in unemployment. And if you were to leave this to the implementing structural ministries, it will be so overloaded that the impact will not be as much felt. So the wisdom of the president is to say, introduce this National Social Investment Program as an intervention, shock treat these big potholes, and allow the leveling grounds to come to a level so that the implementing ministry can continue. So this is the wisdom of introducing the National Social Investment Program.
Dr. Bindere said that the Empower Batch C program, a component of the social insurance program, has received over 6 million applications through its social media portal, explaining that those to benefit from the present recruitment are being processed democratically.
When Empower was rolled out in 2016, as we speak, we are on Batch C1, which means we have done Batch A and Batch B and Batch C we are doing now. Batch C alone, whose registration through the portal commenced in 2020 August, over 6 million people actually subscribed to the portal only on Batch C. So out of these 6 million people, the budgeted portfolio is around 450,000-500,000. So no matter what happens based on budgetary, unless if we expand our network to ensure that we attract partnership and support from others, this is what the budgetary support is about. So only maximum of 500,000 out of 6 million. So 5.5 million will not be attached. So this is the first one, but there will be a second, but C2, which is also another 500,000. So whatever happens out of that 6 million registered in August 2020, only 1 million will be attached.
The Nigerian Social Insurance Program has 4 components, which include the N-Power and the conditional cash transfer, among others.
In Abuja, the Defense Headquarters on Monday held a summit on the terrorism and insurgency in the northeastern part of the country. Speaking at the National Defense College in Abuja, the Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi, retired, restated the imperative of responsive and preemptive measures to address the current security challenges in the country after declaring the summit open. Magashi assured the participants that the current government was working hard to restore stability in the country and will continue to explore all possible approaches to making that possible. On his part, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, said the summit was to promote the buy-in of all stakeholders and to create more awareness on the use of kinetic operations, among other factors. In Cross River State, the Cross River State Governor, Professor Ben Ayade, has said the People's Democratic Party has delivered the highest victory story in the state under his watch. Ayade stated this on Monday while receiving his Bauchi State counterpart, Bala Mohammed, at the government house in Calabar. Mohammed is in Cross River State on a solidarity visit following an internal PDP party crisis in the state. Addressing the party faithfuls, Governor Ayede said, though people are looking up to him, he is not desperate to select his successor in 2023. On his part, Governor Mohammed said the need for the party to remain united cannot be overemphasized, especially as the country gradually tilts toward the next political era. He commended Ayade for connecting to the people of the state politically. In Katsina State, an early morning fire outbreak has destroyed shops numbering over 100 at the Katsina Central Market, with items worth millions of naira lost in the inferno. Eyewitnesses said the fire started from the Unity Bank located in the heart of the market at about 7:30 a.m. and further spread to other stores. A combined team of men of the federal and state fire services made effort to bring the inferno under control, while many traders and onlookers were busy trying to salvage whatever was left in their stores. In Kaduna State, at least 19 people have died in a motor accident along the Kaduna-Abuja highway. The accident, according to security reports, occurred on Sunday at the Kateri axis of the Kaduna-Abuja highway. The Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arawan, explained that the crash, which occurred late Sunday evening, involved a commercial DAF trailer caused by a combination of speeding. He said the tire exploded, leading to a loss of control, thereby causing the vehicle to veer into the bush. Arawan noted that a total of 53 people were involved in the crash, of which 16 died on the spot, with 3 others later confirmed dead. Meanwhile, the Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has expressed shock and sadness over the incident and prayed for the repose of the souls of those who perished in the crash, while sending condolences to their families. He also wished the injured victims a speedy recovery. The governor has enjoined drivers on the route to exercise caution at all times and avoid potentially dangerous driving practices such as speeding. In Ogun State, Omotayo, popularly called Oba Alade Meta of Imopetan near Ijebu-Igbo, was kidnapped by gunmen on Saturday afternoon. A source who is a resident of the town told journalists on Monday that the man left his place for Ijebu-Ode around 11 a.m. in his car. The source further said the victim was kidnapped on his way back home around 3 p.m. by unknown gunmen who accosted him at Ekeori of Imope and took him away, leaving his vehicle on the road. The police public relations officer in the state, Abimbola Oyeyemi, who confirmed the incident on Monday, said operatives of the anti-kidnapping unit, the area commander, Ijebu-Ode, and all the DPOs have been deployed to the place. And now moving over to business. The Central Bank of Nigeria on Monday released a list of approved international money transfer operators with which to send money to Nigeria. The list released by the CBN followed the introduction of the Naira for Dollar scheme by the Apex Bank in a bid to sustain the increase in inflows of diaspora remittances into the country. The list of approved international money transfer operators released by the Central Bank was last updated on February 28, 2021. The CBN had announced the new scheme in a circular to all deposit money banks, international money transfer operators, and the public in general. In the document dated March 5, 2021 and signed by its Director of Trade and Exchange Department, A.S. Jibrin, the Apex Bank explained that the scheme was an incentive for senders and recipients of international money transfers. It noted that all recipients of diaspora remittances through IMTOs licensed by the nation's financial regulator would henceforth be paid 5 naira for every $1 received as remittance inflow. The Apex Bank stated that it had discussed the new development with banks and IMTOs, saying the scheme would take effect from March 8 and end on May 8, 2021. And now the stock market report. The bulls dominated the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange on Monday as the investors gained 178.1 billion. There were 26 gainers against only 8 losers. The equity capitalization rose to 20.25 trillion naira from 20 trillion traded on Friday, a 178.1 billion naira gain. The all-share index points therefore closed at 38,722.87, an upward shift from 38,382.39. However, the volume, the value, and the total deals closed in the negative. On Friday, 290.6 million shares were traded, but on Monday, 277.23 million shares exchanged hands. This was a 4.6% reduction. The value similarly reduced to 3 billion naira from 4 billion naira traded on Friday. On the sectoral front, financial sector traded high volume of shares, with Union Bank of Nigeria trading over 79.89 million shares. Others include Guaranty Trust Bank, First Bank Holdings, and Zenith Bank that traded over 25 million shares each. Among the 26 gainers, Julius Berger was on top. Other top gainers include Stanbic IBTC, UAC of Nigerian PLC, and John Holt PLC. Champion Breweries topped the losers chart with Jay's Bank, Japal Gold Ventures, and Consolidated Hallmark Insurance PLC among other losers. On the foreign scene, AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine is 80% effective at preventing the disease in the elderly and does not increase the risk of blood clots, the biotech firm said on Monday following its US Phase 3 efficiency trials. It said the vaccine was 79% effective at preventing symptomatic COVID-19 in the overall population and 100% effective at preventing severe disease and hospitalization. Several countries had advised against administering the jab to older people due to a lack of data among elderly participants in previous trials. Earlier this month, several countries also paused the use of AstraZeneca shot over fears it may cause blood clots. The United States Phase 3 trial of the vaccine developed by AstraZeneca and Oxford University involved 32.449 participants, with 2 receiving the jab, the pharmaceutical firm said in a statement. And now for sports news. 3 Nigerian players played in France missed training at the gym in Lagos ahead of the African Cup of Nations qualifiers games against Lesotho and Benin Republic on March 27 and 30th. This is according to the Super Eagles coach Kenneth Raw, who briefed journalists while the players had a light training section on Monday in preparation for the matches. He revealed that the affected players in Europe would be absent following the COVID-19 restriction imposed by the French government. A third of France's population was under a new partial lockdown on Saturday to stop the spread of COVID-19, as some European countries resumed AstraZeneca vaccinations following an all clear from European Union regulators and the World Health Organization. Raw explained that although he expects more players, he would replace the absentees with local players from Eyimba. Chad was disqualified from the 2021 African Cup of Nations qualifying on Monday, the Confederation of African Football (CAF) said in a statement. The move by the Cairo-based organization follows the unexplained dissolution of the Chadian National Football Federation by the Sports Ministry in the Central African country. Chad was already bottom of qualifying Group A. Namibia and Mali, who were scheduled to play Chad this week in the last 2 match days ahead of the tournament in Cameroon next January, were awarded 3-0 victories. Mali has already secured a place at the 24-nation finals, with Guinea at 2 points ahead of Namibia in the contest for the other place. Guinea hosts Mali in Conakry on Wednesday, and a victory will ensure a top 2 finish while any other result would keep alive Namibia's hopes. The suspension of Chad will not affect the 2022 World Cup qualifying in Africa, as they have already been eliminated. Before we end the news, a major recap of our stories. Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management says the federal government is tackling Nigeria's poverty challenge. Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade says PDP has delivered highest victory story in the history of the state. 19 killed in Kaduna-Abuja Highway Road accident. Please do well to stay safe, maintain physical and social distance, and wear your nose mask while going about your daily activities. And that's the signature 30 minutes on behalf of my producer, Damilola Abudu. I am Obomano Marvelous. Thanks for watching.